Let's fucking go.
Welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I am here to talk about how Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom may end up being the permanent Dr. Doom of the MCU going forward into the next saga, into the next phases. And also this video will serve as my... Sorry, I just went down the wrong pipe. Also, this video will also serve as my Fantastic Four spoiler review, because obviously if I'm going to talk about one of the biggest reasons I believe that Robert Downey Jr. may be Dr. Doom going forward into the MCU is kind of a spoiler for Fantastic Four First Steps. So first of all, right off the bat, just to get to the Fantastic Four First Steps of it all, I absolutely love the movie. I thought it was, all puns intended, fantastic. I love the cast. I love the cast. Pedro was amazing. Vanessa was amazing. All of them. Evan Moss Baccarat was amazing. Like just the whole crew. Like homie. Wow. Why I keep always blanking on homie's name that they got to come in to play Johnny Storm. It'll come to me. But like that whole crew was just great. The entire team was great. I loved the execution of the way they decided to go about doing certain things. Like the old school aesthetic was awesome. That's like, I'm saying stuff that you guys already know. Things that you guys have already seen. Things that you guys have already seen. Things you guys already know. That the old school, that the aesthetic was awesome. The cast was awesome. The score was awesome. I mean, like, the score was always awesome. Joseph Quinn. Joseph Quinn as Johnny Joseph played the best version of Johnny Storm to date, personally. And I have a lot of love for the Chris Evans version. But Joseph Quinn's version had more depth to him. There was more going on with him. Now, do I have complaints about the movie? I do have complaints about the movie. First of all, I did wish that they had lingered a little bit more on certain things. Since we're getting into the spoiler discussion conversation, the whole movie is around Franklin Richards and the baby, Franklin's birth, and what that means for Galactus, because the whole movie is about how Galactus wants to take Franklin and have him replace him so Galactus can finally rest, which kind of indicates finally die, but I digress. And I agree with some people's complaints. See, complaints about this movie are interesting, and I do agree with some people's complaints, and some other people I think are going a touch too far. I do think that there was probably a even better, maybe like 10 out of 10 classic, all-time great. I still think it's a great movie. I still think it's one of the best MCU movies ever made. I think it's probably going to end up being in a lot of people, including mine's top 10. I don't know if it'll be in my, I don't think it'll be in my top 5, but it'll definitely be somewhere within the 8th to 7th range. Like this and Shang-Chi, Spider-Man No Way Home, Guardians 3, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and probably Thunderbolts were the movies that come out in this latest phase that really pushed it to be like, yo, these could be movies that are in that top 10. And this is another one. This might be somewhere in the 9 to 8 range, but it's in my top 10. But it's going to be competing to be in my top 10 going further in the MCU. It's just not, it's the back half of the top 10. But what could have pushed it to being number 1, which could have pushed it to being in the top 5, is the fact that there's a 2 hour and 30-minute version of this movie that is excellent. Because first of all, while it is edited well, it's edited so well and it's done so well that you don't notice it. It's not like some films where you could tell that it's been edited to hell. Like, you could tell by watching the movie. You're like, dude, like, there was clearly an entire section. Like, I had a lot of fun with Captain America Brave New World, but there are sections of that movie that you can tell there was more of it, or there was something that happened in it that didn't happen. Whereas in this movie, it's edited greatly. It's edited very well that you can't even tell. But obviously, with some of the clips that have leaked out and some of the other information that we have seen and some of the promotional stuff, we know that this movie was supposed to be longer. And it would have been better to spend more time with Johnny Storm to see to kind of get an indication of how much of a playboy he was before now. Because they do the thing where, since it's 4 years later, because the Fantastic Four in this movie have been the Fantastic Four before 4 years, nice symmetry, before we see them. So Johnny has kind of moved past his Playboy stage, and he wants to be he wants to do more for the team. And Ben Grimm, the Thing, has moved past his remorse, his downness, his sadness about being a rock guy, and now he's more just sad about being lonely. And more on that part, there was clearly an entire sequence filmed that was supposed to be him on a dating show, The Thing on a dating show. And I remember seeing some promotional stuff for that, like a while ago, months ago, and being kind of excited about that, because being like, oh, okay, so this is going to be leading to something. And when you watch the movie, now hindsight 2020, I can clearly see where they were going with having The Thing on a dating show, which would have been like, oh, despite how famous he is, despite being a superhero, he still can't find love, and then he goes back home, because there's indication in the movie is he hasn't been to Yancey Street, which is where he's from, in a while, and he finds a woman who sees him for him back at his hometown. Like, I could see the story they were gonna do there, but clearly they edited it out. Now, I agree with Movie Bob. Movie Bob's a great guy. Not great guy, I don't know the guy, but it's a great reviewer. I like his opinions on movies because he just tends to be kind of just right down to it. Like, he doesn't really have a lot of shit outside, comic book mumbo jumbo that really like affects his opinion on things, on comic book films, so he kind of could just look at it and have fun with it. And one of the things he said was why the movie was edited down the way it was edited down is because there's so much talk. There's not a lot of action. And actually, I agree with him. I don't like, from all the stuff I've seen, I don't think that even if they had kept all the extra stuff that they were gonna do, I still don't think there would have been a ton of action in this movie. This movie was more focused on the family aspect, on the space exploration aspect, on the adventure of it all, than the action of it all. Like, sometimes when I was a kid, I used to be so confused. Why are they calling this an action? Why is one movie called an action adventure, and why is one movie just called an adventure? This is an adventure movie that has action in it. And it's a very different vibe. They were going for character, they were going for family, and they were going for adventure. That's what they were going for in this movie. The action is like, you know what, that's not the big thing. And I agree with Movie Bob that they may have edited to make the pace go faster, so that way, people won't notice that there's not a lot of action happening, because there's so much happening, because the pace is moving so fast that you don't have time to really bitch about the action. And it makes me sad, because I do think they could have spent more time. Like, I think Sue and Reed were fine. I think they got all the time they needed to get across what they needed. But I think more time could have helped Ben. I think more time could have helped Johnny. I think more time could have helped Shia LaBeouf, the Silver Surfer. I think there could have been more time with with Galactus. Like, more time in this world, showing more, explaining more, would have made this a top 5 MCU movie. Would have made it one of the greatest. To me, it's one of my favorite. It's one of the best comic book movies, but it would have made it one of the greatest comic book movies with an extra 30 minutes of time. That being said, I still love the movie. I still give it a 9 out of 10, maybe even 9.5. But one of the big things is the post-credit scene, which set up Dr. Doom coming face to face with Franklin Richards. And ever since Robert Downey Jr. got cast as Dr. Doom, it's been kind of just assumed that he's gonna be here for Doomsday, the Avengers Doomsday, and he's gonna be in Avengers Secret Wars, and he's gonna be gone. Because Robert Downey Jr. is in his 60s, I think. He's either in his 60s or in his late 50s. I think he's in his 60s. I can't remember. Don't come at me on that one. I'm not sure, but he's up there. And but the bigger thing is, he was just playing Iron Man, and Iron Man just died in this universe, and how can you bring him back? And Marvel's so desperate. There was so much hoopla over Robert Downey Jr. But the one thing that most of us kind of agreed on is that, okay, he's going to come in, he's going to do this, he's going to leave, and then they're going to bring a new actor on to play Dr. Doom going forward. But now there are reports out that Marvel is looking into the idea of keeping Robert Downey Jr. on as Dr. Doom going forward. And to me, and at first I wanted to dismiss it, but when you really sit back and think about it, the Fantastic Four movie, spoiler alerts, as I'm spoiling everything, set up Latveria exists in this world. And there's no Latvian representative whenever they have their Future Foundation Senate Union meetings or whatever. There's no representative of Latveria, indicating that there is a Dr. Doom in here because they highlight it twice in the movie. And not only that, but I do believe, and I could be completely wrong, that it's already been confirmed that Robert Downey Jr. was in that scene as Dr. Doom face to face with Franklin. I looked at his mask a few times now, and I've seen a few images of it, and it does look very old school. It looks very like it could belong in that time period. I believe that Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom is from the same universe as them. And I believe it for multiple reasons. From a story perspective, the relationship between Reed Richards and Dr. Doom is so important to those characters, and the relationship between Dr. Doom and the Fantastic Four in general is so important. And if you're going to have a movie where Reed Richards may be sort of the lead of the movie interacting with his arch villain, you can't have it be some random version of his arch villain. There's no history there. There's no rapport there. The only way it really works easily, and you could kind of pick up quickly without having to explain anything, is if you make him from the same universe. But if you make him from the same universe, you then can't go on in the future and have new Fantastic Four movies and have some other dude who looks nothing like the villain that they chronologically has been their version of Doom the entire time. You see what I mean here? It wouldn't work. It wouldn't actually make little sense. You'd be like, wait a minute, so there's just another version of Doom? And Reed just doesn't, really? That's what you're gonna do here? It wouldn't completely make a lot of sense for this, I think it's Earth 828. I think that's what the Fantastic Four universe takes place in, for the 828 version of Dr. Doom to just disappear and there'll be a new Dr. Doom, a new dude who looks nothing like him. But you know what? You see what I'm saying here? If they're gonna make him be from the same universe as the Fantastic Four, then it makes sense that they would want him to come back. Also, something that a lot of people aren't really banking on, because so many people have been when it comes to Marvel, there's a lot of negativity. It just is what it is. Right now, a lot of people want the Marvel to die. A lot of people want it to end. There's a lot of negativity around the MCU right now. It's been like that for quite a while. But so when people saw the Robert Downey Jr. being an announcement thing, they instantly said, "Oh, this is desperate. Oh, this isn't gonna work." People are thinking about the worst case scenarios, but the best case scenario, which is kind of the worst case scenario, if you're planning on recasting this character, is Robert Downey Jr. goes out there and kills it. Robert Downey Jr. goes out there and gives one of the greatest villain performances in film history. He rivals Thanos. If he goes out there and does that, how can you then bring on a new actor to play Dr. Doom and just be like, well, I'm glad, Robert Downey Jr. did that. Here's this new... Would you really want to do that to that guy? Have some actor come on and do lesser shit than Robert Downey Jr. got to do? Or would you keep Robert Downey Jr. on? Have all the prestige of what he just did in these two Avengers movies. Have all the prestige of him being Iron Man and Tony Stark in the other movies. Him carrying all of this with him as he still continues to play this villain going forward. I think the answer, it answers itself there. You would want to keep him on. And that's why I think they're going to keep him. I do think that is true. I think the rumors are true. I think they're going to keep him on as Doom. A lot of people are going to be pissed about that. A lot of people are going to be upset about it. But I, for one, think that's a good idea. Oscar-winning Robert Downey Jr., come on, dude. Just have it. That's the one thing, I say, that's kind of going under the radar is people are so pissed off they're not even paying attention to how great it could be. But anyways, thank you guys for joining me on the Comic Game Movie Show. Please be like and subscribe. What did you guys think of Fantastic Four? And do you think it's true? Is Robert Downey Jr. just doing a one and done? Going on about his way? Look, man's up there. Just won an Oscar for Oppenheimer. Great, fantastic in Oppenheimer, by the way. God damn, I didn't realize forgot he could do that after Doolittle. But anyways, yeah. Or is he making a comeback in the MCU as a totally different character? It'd be a cool way to have an actor come back to a franchise as a different character in the same universe. I don't think I've seen that before. in a big role twice? That's weird. That's crazy. But could be the first. It was you guys joining the Comic Movie Show again. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.